Live from the Grenadian capital, this is the GBN television news. GBN, covering you from the Grenadine Island chain to Brooklyn, New York, via the World Wide Web on www.gbn.gd.
The news headlines is brought to you compliments GUT Credit Union.
Do more with your new GUT Credit Union Visa debit card, which gives you access to your cash at any Connex or Visa certified ATMs locally and internationally. Make your payments with a tap of your card using the contactless feature and have the freedom to make purchases locally, online, or overseas whenever you travel, anywhere Visa is accepted. Experience the enhanced security fraud protection through the Visa chip technology. If you don't have your new GUT Credit Union Visa International debit card, speak to any one of our representatives today to do more. Your new GUT Credit Union Visa International debit card, a smarter way to access your cash. More smart, more secure.
This is Network News for Tuesday, June 28, 2022. In the headlines, Grenada remains under tropical storm warning. Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell committed to delivering as promised within the first 90 days in office. Former Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell confident the new National Party will rise from the ashes of defeat. Successful CPEA students to return devices as they prepare to exit primary school. In around the globe, regionally, crew member on flight to St. Lucia tests positive for monkeypox. Internationally, at least 46 people have been found dead inside an abandoned trailer truck in the city of San Antonio, Texas. Plus, in the sports news, St. Andrews Football League resumes following break from the election campaign and general elections. This is the news. We'll be back.
The first segment of the news comes to you compliments Soft Weave Bathroom Tissue.
Have you heard about the new Soft Weave bathroom tissue with total hygiene? As hygiene and safety have taken center stage, our bathroom tissue is now manufactured with 3 different technologies to offer the best protection for you and your family. UVC light technology for a safe and effective disinfection process, eliminating 99.9% of microorganisms. Also, production at high temperatures, killing all types of germs and bacteria. And it's pH controlled with delicate fibers to prevent irritation for even sensitive skin. Soft Weave Total Hygiene Bathroom Tissue, available in supermarkets and shops island-wide. Visit Soft Weave Caribbean Facebook or Instagram pages for more information.
Hello again from the Grenada Broadcasting Network. I'm Kenroy, Baptiste. A tropical cyclone is forecast to pass near or over Grenada and portions of the southern Windward Islands and move over the southern Caribbean Sea or near the northern coast of Venezuela on Wednesday and Thursday. Grenada and its dependencies, Carriacou and Petite Martinique, remain under tropical storm warning. Joining us is forecaster Finbar Frank at the Met Office at Maurice Bishop International Airport. Good evening, Mr. Frank.
Good evening.
Yes, what's the very latest at the moment?
Well, let's take a look at what the observation from 5 p.m. So that's the latest that we have. The next, we will get the update at 8. So let's see where the system was at 5. Please note that it is still a tropical wave, a very strong wave. So it's not a storm, even though we are under a warning for tropical storm. But at 5 p.m., the axis was just along 59.5 west, right? If you want to talk about the center, although there's no closed low, but it was centered near 10.1 north, 59.5 west. How far was that from us? Just about 200 miles to the southeast of us. At that time, it was moving to the west near 24 miles per hour, and within the next day or so, it should take a slight turn to the west-northwest. But again, keep in mind, this is a strong tropical wave and not a storm as yet, even though we are on a warning for tropical storms.
Okay. Is the strong tropical wave, as you say, showing signs for development into a tropical storm?
Well, within the next 2 days, there's a high chance that it could be a storm. It could be a cyclone within the next 2 days. So we're looking at a 70% chance within the next 2 days, and within the next 5 days, it's even higher, 90% chance. But will it reach that stage before crossing us? Not likely. It does not look so. So most likely, if it does form a storm, it will happen to the west of us after it crosses us.
Okay. So at the moment, this strong tropical wave, how do you break this down in terms of the conditions Grenada and its dependencies are likely to expect over the next 12 to 24 hours, for example?
But based on the guidance from the models that we are looking at, most of what we can look at for will be rain. So the models are going for up to 6 inches of rain. That's almost like a month worth of rain over the next few days, right? Again, it's this model, so it's guidance. It's not definite. But at least what it's saying is that we shouldn't look for too much in terms of the wind or strong winds, although we could get very high gusts with the showers, but just gusted, not average wind being that brisk. What to really look out for is the rain over the next few days. There will be a little break on Thursday, but then there's a next wave that could give us some rain on Friday. So we're looking at from now, Tuesday night, Wednesday, Thursday ease up a little bit, Friday wet again. That is pretty much it. So
okay.
with that now, there is a high chance of flooding. There's a high chance of rockfall. Again, with the strong wind gusts, there's also that chance of probably down trees and some rockfall too because of the down trees. But we are watching it. We know how things are. This is the time of year. We know the damage that a wave can do. I think back about 2018, the 1st of August, we had a lot of flooding. That was a very, very wet day, and that was a wave. So it does not take a storm to do some damage. This here could give us a lot of rain, flooding, and landslide within the next few hours. So we just keeping our eye out, do everything that you have to do, put things in place, keep yourself safe, and let us see how it plays out.
Can you help us to understand wind gusts?
Okay, so the average wind, right, for a storm, the average wind that we could say, okay, winds, let's say 45 knots or so, just any figure. Now, that is the average wind over 2 minutes, right? But a wind gust is just a brief surge in the wind speed. So the average wind could be 15 knots, and then briefly, most times with the showers. So just as the shower starts, mostly if it's heavy, then you get that brief surge in the wind. It could go up to 50 knots, even though the average is 15, and that's a wind gust. It will normally last less than 1 minute. It should not go beyond that. For the afternoon, we had a very strong gust here. It reached as high as 64 knots, but not averaging, just a very brief surge in the wind speed that came with the start of the heavy showers.
And just briefly, Finbar Frank, a marine advisory remains in effect, right?
Yes.
Because seas are rough, I understand, waves up to 13 feet in open water.
Yes. So again, because of a strong wind, so winds drive waves. If you have strong winds, you will have rough waves. And that is what we are seeing. The models are going for very brisk winds. And again, with the gust front, we could get the wave reaching as high as 13 feet. For the next few days, it should fade off a bit. But in the main, the next few days, these should be up.
Okay, we leave it there for the time being. Forecaster Finbar Frank, thank you so very much indeed. So if you're just tuning in, Grenada and its dependencies, Carriacou and Peter Martinique, remain under tropical storm warning. According to the forecaster, there is a strong tropical wave at the moment. It's not a cyclone just yet, a strong tropical wave. Nonetheless, Grenada and its dependencies remain under tropical storm warning, of course, taking the necessary precautions in that regard. All right. Well, the list of primary shelters was released by the National Disaster Management Agency, NADMA, ahead of Monday's tropical storm warning for Grenada and its dependencies.
The National Disaster Management Agency, NADMA, has published a list of shelters for the 2022 hurricane season, more than 90 primary shelters across the Tri-Island. The release of the list was timely, as Grenada had been placed on the tropical storm warning on Monday.
At 5 p.m. on Monday, 27th June, Grenada was placed under tropical storm warning. What does this mean? It means that we are expected to experience tropical storm conditions in the next 36 hours. As an individual, business, or homeowner, what should you do? We are encouraging you to take all the necessary safety measures to ensure yourself and your family are safe. Ensure that you listen to all the information shared by NADMA and the Met Office.
That was Public Relations Officer for NADMA, Oslin Crosby, as she encouraged Grenadians to be proactive over the next few hours.
Ensure your phones are fully charged. Fill up your vehicles. Practice electrical safety. Unplug all appliances in sockets in the event of flooding. Do not walk in flood waters with unknown depth, as it takes only 6 inches of flood waters to topple an adult. Please safeguard your important documents in a sealed container or waterproof bag. If flooding is imminent and you live in a vulnerable area, we encourage you to identify an alternate location that you can move to before the rains start falling. Please have your family plan ready.
This year's hurricane season is predicted to be above normal with 19 storms, 2 fewer than 2021. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration has predicted a chance of 3 to 6 major hurricanes. Grenadians are encouraged to check NADMA Grenada Facebook page for information and updates on the relevant shelters. For GBN News, Beverly Telesford.
Now, the National Water and Sewage Authority, NWASA, instituted a selective shutdown of its water distribution network from 5 o'clock this afternoon. Communications Officer for NWASA, Jamila Lewis, has an update on the measures taken.
A meeting of our disaster management team at 2 o'clock this afternoon concluded that this was the best approach to safeguard the authority's infrastructure and the lives of our employees. Expected heavy rainfall can render water systems highly susceptible to turbidity and dam blockages, hindering the production of water for an extended period. NWASA, however, kept the Annandale, Mardi Gras, Mondelez, and Sherman Valley water facilities open. The authority will monitor the weather conditions and will interrupt supply to those facilities if it becomes necessary without prior notice given. NOASA is very happy that persons heeded our calls on Monday, June 27th to fill up and prepare. NOASA was able to keep the distribution network open during the course of the day, with the exception for the Concord, Mount Rule, Mount Plaisir, and Spring Garden water systems that were faced with high turbidity and dam blockage due to the heavy rains. So our closure at 5 p.m. this afternoon will protect the stored water so that we can resume supply distribution on Wednesday, June 29th, 2022.
Other news, general elections dust is now settled and political analysts are picking apart the campaign leading up to general elections and the victory at the polls on June 23. My colleague Cherry and Blackman-Stephen has this report.
Two leaders with only their surname in common, one leading the New National Party and the other the National Democratic Congress. One continuing with the regular kind of leadership and one a new face with new ideas and ideologies. Top analysts probed the then and now of general elections, the campaign and the outcome on Monday nights beyond the headlines. Dr. Wendy Grenade, senior lecturer in political science at the University of the West Indies, believes the NDC's success is because they ran a very good campaign despite having a relatively new slate of candidates.
I think for the first time I saw a political campaign that focused predominantly on issues, and I think that captivated many persons. The social media campaign, it was quite dynamic, and it was refreshing, a kind of techno democracy that I think people yearned for something different.
A key component of the discussion was the overwhelming support the National Democratic Congress received from the nation's youth. With the New National Party's implementation of the Imani program, with thousands signed up to that initiative, many assumed that this would be an instant push towards the incumbent. But this was not the realization at the polls. It is believed that the NDC and its political leader spoke to the real issues affecting young people and that he provided the hope they so longed for.
Young people were looking at the television and seeing somebody saying to them, you could become more. Poverty mustn't be a natural state. You can get a skill, you know? And I think as we go forward, thinking about the next 50 years of independence, we must want a new kind of society. And this is an opportunity to reimagine a new Grenada, and not just to reimagine it, but to make it happen. But it must be a collective effort.
With the COVID-19 pandemic, the invasion of Ukraine by Russia, and the fallout from this on the world market, leading to high costs of living, many people see the NDC governing in a time of difficulties. Dr. Grenade believes that there is an opportunity to use the present crises and ask what opportunities can be derived from them.
I think it's a brilliant opportunity for us to ride the crises, look for opportunities, be creative, be innovative, do things better. And I'm hopeful and I'm confident.
She says what has to be done is that the expectation of citizens have to be managed. Dr. Grenade is also satisfied that the country now has an opposition which serves well for democracy. But for the future of the New National Party, Dr. Grenade believes that succession planning will determine the way forward for the party. Cherry and Blackman-Stephen, GBN News.
Reminding you, Grenada and its dependencies, Carriacou and Petite Martinique, are under tropical storm warning. You're watching Network News. Still ahead from us, Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell committed to delivering as promised within the first 90 days in office. Stay with us.
Home is easy as 1, 2, 3.
Thinking about your new home? Think easy. Think a Republic Bank Home Easy Loan. Think affordable. Think convenience. Think Republic.
Home is easy as 1, 2, 3. Republic makes home easy.
Wow, that was such a breeze.
Own your home with ease.
So whether laying that first brick or purchasing an existing home, we've got you covered. Republic Bank will get you those keys hassle-free in no time.
Home is easy as 1, 2, 3.
Drop by any one of our 8 locations today. Getting your new home is easy with Republic Bank.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
On Sunday, 3rd July, Mega First Promotions presents another Mega Bingo. From 5 p.m. at the National Stadium, you can win win a whopping $100,000 in cash.
This is the money shot.
$100,000 in cash to be won. We play 16 games at $5,000 each and 2 games at $10,000 each. Tickets cost only $50. DJ Chemist and Heavy D will have the place rocking. Sponsors Carib, Glenegg, Goodfed.com, and Waggity Rentals and Sound Company. Sunday, 3rd July, 5 p.m. Big Bucks Mega Bingo.
In our part of the world, we need to be prepared for natural disasters like storms and hurricanes, even outside of the season. I'm sure you'll agree that keeping our loved ones, homes, and businesses safe is important. So, I came up with a few quick tips to help you stay safe. First, make a family disaster plan and ensure that everyone in your household is familiar and comfortable with it. Remember to add batteries and flashlights to your emergency kit. Now, for electrical safety. Familiarize yourself with your electrical panel, as it may be necessary to switch off the power during a storm or flood. Make sure you install a transfer or isolation switch to prevent your generator feeding electricity to Grenleck's line. If trees are too close to power lines, call Grenleck at 237 for advice. By following these easy steps, you will be well on your way to being hurricane ready. Don't be caught off guard by natural disasters. Prepare now. For more information, visit grenleck.com.
Kenny's Trucking and Equipment Services Limited. Now introducing Portland King Cement, Grenada's toughest and most high-quality cement, engineered with you in mind. Whether it's residential or industrial construction, Portland King Cement has been tested to achieve profound results that you can trust. The choice is clear. Choose Portland King, tougher than the rest. Visit Kenny's Trucking and Equipment Services Limited on Dusty Highway. Call telephone number 439-6605 or 440-6605. Or visit our 2 other locations, Westerhall in St. David and Dunfermline in St. Andrew. Please be advised that our office has been relocated to Steele's Commercial Complex, Grandance St. George. We at CGI, Consumers Guarantee Insurance Company Limited, look forward to serving you at our new location. Call us on telephone number 440-0217 or visit our website www.insurecgi.com.
Pfizer celebrates 75 years of transforming lives with its celebratory suite of loan products. Own your own vehicle, education, land, or home, and anchor your roots. Start living the life you deserve by applying for an Own Your Own loan at reduced interest rates. Simplify your life and consolidate all your debts by applying for a Simplify loan and open doors to new beginnings and explore more opportunities to shape your future. Call or send us a WhatsApp on 423-4987 or email us at loans@arisecu.com today to continue your journey towards financial freedom. Terms and conditions apply. Ariza Credit Union, celebrating 75 years of transforming lives.
Carnival costume? Check. Monday wear? Check. Unlimited premium drinks? Check. Meals with security, cool-down bus, mobile restrooms, plus Vaughn and other international performances? Check, 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 and check. The Carnival Mass Band Nirvana is ready for the road for Spice Mass. Backline, midline, and frontline costumes for men and women. Nirvana is the perfect state of happiness on the road for Carnival Monday and Tuesday. Register now at nirvanaempire.com. Call or WhatsApp us on 407-INFO. That's 407-4636. Instagram at Nirvana Empire. View our costumes at the Nirvana Showroom, La Marquis Complex, Grand Anse. Play Mass with Nirvana.
GBN leads, the others follow. This segment is brought to you by Republic Bank.
Building or renovating
lighting your home or business? Why not use clean, renewable energy? Install solar panels to power your home and office and see your energy costs go down and your savings go up. Using renewable solar-powered energy protects our environment, reduces our carbon footprint, and slows the devastating impact of climate change. Republic Bank can help to finance construction and renovations that make use of renewable energy. Visit any Republic Bank branch and ask about renewable energy financing options today.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Welcome back. Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell says he's excited about the challenge ahead and the issues that need to be addressed. He already met and held debriefing sessions to, as he says, better inform their decisions. Christina John reports.
Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell has already hit the ground running, getting on with, as he puts it, the people's business. Following his swearing-in ceremony last Friday, the Prime Minister met with the Police High Command, permanent secretaries, and other heads of departments. Appearing on one of the NDC's Heartbeat programs, the PM explained some of the pertinent areas looked at.
Let me say, I've already started working. After I was sworn in, I had a debriefing session with the Commissioner of Police, the Cabinet Secretary, and the PS in the Prime Minister's office. We had a further detailed debriefing and transition status update in terms of the current state of the government yesterday with the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Finance, Foreign Affairs, Prime Minister's office, and the Cabinet Secretary, and then separately with the Commissioner of Police. These were all the briefings. It's very comprehensive. I was satisfied with their professionalism, their promptness, because obviously it's Saturday, and the request for the meeting was made late Friday.
PM Mitchell further explained the rationale behind the debriefing, noting that adjustments will be made. We are in the process, and part of the reason for the debriefing, obviously, currently ministries are aligned a particular way. We want to look at that to see whether this is something that lines up with what we want to achieve. We have to bear in mind that we were clear that our purpose is really to begin a transformation process. And so some changes are going to have to be made. So we wanted to have that briefing, get the status update, so we can then look at how we align the ministries to properly fit the kinds of things that we want to do. That also will help us in determining ultimately who will constitute the cabinet of Grenada, because we want to make sure that we have square pegs, as we would say, in square holes. According to the PM, there are some areas he intends to tackle head-on in the first 90 days in office.
So, in a nutshell, the immediate things that we talked about, the cost of living issues, the pension payment issues, addressing the contract work issues are issues we intend to certainly deal with, as we say, as soon as possible within the first 90 days of our administration. The spice replanting program is a program we also wish to jump on rapidly. Some of it will involve, obviously, addressing the question of the sharecropping and the land use and so on. But that is something we certainly intend to jump on quickly as well and get going within the first 12 months.
Some long-term issues he highlighted include digital transformation, which will ensure that government takes the lead in becoming more digital friendly, thereby cutting costs. The leader of the National Democratic Congress is giving Grenadians the opportunity to serve on boards of statutory bodies.
We will have to be reconstituting boards, appointing new persons, and that's when I talked about the door being open. That's an area where I really want to have fresh blood, creative thinking, solution-oriented, driven persons involved to give Grenadians an opportunity to shape their country. Right, and I think that's one area where not politicians, but Grenadians can truly make a difference in terms of making these entities more efficient, making them more goal-oriented, making them more successful. So that's certainly what.
Christina John, GBN News.
Political leader of the New National Party, Dr. Keith Mitchell, says despite their defeat in the June 23 general elections, his party is committed in playing its part in Parliament in the interest of nation building. He says his party is reflecting on where it went wrong in the eyes of the people. Rena Pear Thomas has this report.
Prime
Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell, in thanking his supporters for their backing in the 2022 general elections, is reassuring Grenadians that the new National Party will rise from the ashes despite its recent defeat. Dr. Mitchell says while there is a level of disappointment in the results, it has opened their eyes to some of their shortcomings over the years and is now in the stage of reforming the party.
To have to be frank and honest in those deliberations. The reviews and discussions have already begun and will no doubt continue in the immediate period. It must be clear we are entering a traditional phase, and I see my fundamental role as facilitating a new emerging leadership that will ensure that the NNP remains at the vanguard of the people's aspiration. As leader, it is my responsibility to ensure that the party remains strong and viable, and always ready to take up the mantle of governance again.
Mitchell extends his best wishes to the new government and commits to work along with them in nation building for all Grenadians.
We shall play a constructive role as opposition, understanding that any opposition will be on philosophical issues that we think might be in the better interests of this beautiful country. While we understand every new government will come with different ideas and approaches, we are urging the new administration to positively consider not dismantling programs that especially benefit the ordinary people of this country.
The opposition leader was addressing the nation for the first time after losing the 2022 general election. For GBN News, I am Rena Pett Thomas reporting.
Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell believes the system of fear has overwhelmed the Grenadian people.
We must accept that there's been a culture that has been built in Grenada of fear, of victimization, where people are afraid to just do basic things like just speak honestly, or just say this doesn't make sense from a government or a Grenada perspective, for fear that they would be transferred here or lose their job, or some child of theirs who's in the Imani program will come off the Imani program. I mean, that I think has really held us back, because there are a lot of people with a lot of great ideas, a lot of solutions to the challenges we face, but because of the system that has been built, they are outside of that, because you can't criticize, you can't offer constructive criticism, you can't open your mouth, you can't seem to associate with someone who, and I think that has held back our country.
According to the Grenadian leader, their main point of focus is rebuilding community togetherness and revitalizing some of the activities that will create the enabling environment.
We also want our communities to become organized. We need to have back the youth groups, we need to have back the social groups, we need to have back the culture groups, we need to have back the football clubs, the cricket clubs, the netball clubs, the youth organizations, the drumming groups. That is going to be a main focus of our community development initiative, because we want to empower our communities. We want to start encouraging our citizens who previously were involved in these things to start organizing. You don't have to wait on the government to come to you. If you live in a village, if you know there's an opportunity to bring young people together, if you know there's an opportunity to bring senior citizens together, if there's an opportunity to bring both groups together, start talking to your friend, speaking to your neighbor, because we really also want to encourage a spirit of volunteerism.
Prime Minister Mitchell pointed out authenticity, honesty, humility, and staying on message as some of the fundamentals he believes contributed to their success at the polls, and promised to continue on that path. Now we turn our attention to what has been making the buzz on social media.
GBN Social Buzz is reaching beyond the local platform to share with you what's trending on social media. We browse the World Wide Web and bring to you the topics inciting the most reaction and debate among users. On Monday, GBN aired a report that bandits struck another business couple in St. Andrew.
The Royal Grenada Police Force have confirmed that a Grenville businessman and his wife were attacked around 8 p.m. Saturday night on their arrival at their home in the vicinity of Grenville. According to reports, the businessman left his wife in their vehicle to go and unlock the gate leading to their property, only seconds later to realize realized his car was driving away and his wife was unconscious on the ground.
GBN social media users took to the comment section to share words of advice to business owners. The following views are of members of the public and not necessarily of the GBN. Kenroy said, "Will be wise to consider 24-hour police patrols in some areas so that residents can feel that sense of security and at the same time discouraging crime and other illegal activities. Hope that the victims are doing fine as the lawmen make every effort to capture their offenders." Allison added, "Maybe they are outsiders who come to Grenada to do these acts." Slinger said, "This has to stop. This is not how we roll here. Some force wants to sabotage our security record. Root it out." Lisa added, "Yes, it has to stop. They are following other countries doing these things." Gloria said, "Stop going home with money. Deposit in the bank before going home." Zora added, "Since when these type of things are happening? Don't bring y'all things in Grenada, please. Our island is one of the safest places." Ron chimed in, "Now they should realize how CCTV is important. The town should have those cameras on all streets." Chad finally said, "Place all vendors in the market, including all hustlers, which will in turn have less idlers around Grenville. It will be sad, but all this needs to be enforced to make the place a fraction safer." That's what's buzzing tonight. We encourage you, our viewers and listeners, to submit your think pieces on trending topics locally, regionally, and internationally via our Facebook page and YouTube channel. Continue to share your thoughts and concerns with us on our social media platforms.
Still ahead in the news, successful students in the Caribbean Primary Exit Assessment to return devices as they prepare to exit primary school.
Get away from your daily stress with a Grenada vacation at the Koyaba Beach Resort. Koyaba is located on the world-famous Grand Anse Beach and boasts 5.5 acres of beautiful garden. Excellent service, good food and drink, well-appointed rooms and friendly staff in a safe environment. Facilities include 2 restaurants, 2 bars, swimming pool, water sports, tennis, gym and body treatment rooms. Call 473-444-4129.
Spice Mass is back! And Grenada Distillers Limited wants you to win big with its bottleneck promotion. With every purchase of pure white or special dark, you are automatically entered for a chance to win. Win tickets to Soca Mona. Win free costumes. Win bottles of Clark Scott Rum, Grenada's #1. Win cold hard cash and more. Simply write your name, address, and contact details at the back of this bottleneck and insert in the boxes at participating outlets and the Clark Scott sales van. Win big for Spice Mass with Clark Scott, Grenada's #1 rum.
Introducing Color by Sissons. 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 Color by Sissons.
A whole new level of convenience and comfort awaits you when you shop at Rise and Shine Supermarket and Hardware Supplies, Griffin Lane, Grenville. Convenient, because we are open Sunday to Sunday. We're even at your service on public holidays. Comfort, because we are easily accessible to the physically challenged. Free Wi-Fi is available while you shop, and bags come at no charge. Everyday low prices and excellent customer care. Adequate parking available. We supply everything you can possibly think of. Family and home supplies, fresh meat, vegetables, and personal care products. All brands of cooking gas at affordable prices. You can send in your order, have it pulled, or pick up express.
We're back reporting the day's news. The Ministry of Education has started the process of collecting tablets issued to grade 6 students who were successful in their CPEA examinations. This started on Monday, June 27, as the devices will be recycled to new students registered for the September school term. Rena Thomas has more.
As grade 6 students who were successful in the 2022 CPEA exams prepare to transit to their various secondary schools, the Ministry of Education has started the process of collecting tablets from the students, as they will obtain other devices in their new schools. This process, which is led by district IT officers, started on Monday, June 27th and will end on July 1st, in which all devices are collected and inspected. Kwame Hippolyte, Strategy Officer in the e-learning program in the Ministry of Education, explains.
At each school, the district IT officer, they are going to examine the device that is returned by the students. Upon examining the device, the students will be issued receipts indicating that a device was returned. Following that, the district IT officers, they are going to ensure that the devices are secured and returned to the Ministry of Education. It's a pretty easy process for the return of the devices, and what we are working with the schools to do is to ensure that the device that was issued to the student is the one that is returned and is returned in good care, in good condition.
If the devices are not in good order when collected, the matter will be brought to the Device Accountability Committee in the Ministry of Education, who will evaluate the device and later contact the parents of the students on whether it needs to be replaced or fixed. Hippolyte is calling on parents and students to take care of the devices, as it is essential to their education.
Well, it is very important that the parents, students care for the devices. Case being that in the new academic year, ebook content will be available for the students, and they will be able to access those via their device. So during the period of the vacation, we advise that the parents and students care for the device.
The strategy officer also reminds parents and students that the devices used will have to be passed on to other students whenever they transit to other schools. For GBN News, I am Rena Thomas reporting.
All right, it's time to take a peek through the GBN ISO lens.
A good eye catches all. GBN ISO is brought to you by ClearVision.
Life is beautiful if only you can see it. ClearVision Eye Center helps you do just that. We provide expert service, classy eyewear, and cutting-edge technology, all with a quality customer experience. See better, feel better, and look better. Meet us today at clearvisiongrenada.com or call 444-0055, WhatsApp 409-0055, or follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. ClearVision Eye Center. Let's see life and the world with a clear vision.
The video in tonight's ISO was recorded at 10:30 a.m. on Tuesday morning. An offshore worker on an oil rig captured conditions of offshore southeastern Trinidad. It featured strong winds and rough seas associated with potential tropical cyclone 2 affecting the Twin Island Republic. Send us your photo and video submissions via WhatsApp on 405-3052 or our other social media platforms.
A rainy day, windy too. Grenada and its dependencies, Carriacou and Peter Martinique, remain under tropical storm warning. Stay with us. The weather forecast coming up, followed by the sports news.
They are the few, the strong, the elite. Grenada, get ready as our sporting gladiators go for gold and glory at the World Championships. Follow every throw, stride, and jump from July 15th to the 24th. Capture the action daily on GBN television. It's the World Championships. The dream continues.
James is going to win it.
We support you at every stage of your life.
For business.
For your education.
For your financial freedom.
For that new ride.
Upgrade your life with the Communal. Contact us today.
Every day we snouting, say boom.
Yo, this is Skinny Fabulous, and I'm inviting you to be ready this carnival season with Courts Ready Cash. Get up to $20,000 cash right now. No deposit needed, and it's completely hassle-free. You will have your money in your hand in less than 24 hours. What are you waiting for? Don't miss the vibes this carnival season. It's all about Courts Ready Cash. Ready when you are.
Thinking bad, all my friend them stinking mad. We be having thinking bad. Martin call me the drinking god.
Keeping an eye on the weather. This is GBN. We've got you covered.
Weather for Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique valid for tonight and the following 3 days. Weather tonight, overcast and windy with widespread showers and thunder showers becoming heavy at times. Tonight's minimum temperature 22 degrees Celsius. Flash flooding in low-lying areas, rockfall in vulnerable areas. Please be guided accordingly. Wind northeasterly to southeasterly at 18 to 28 miles per hour, gusting high with the showers. Seas moderate, seas rough with waves up to 13 feet in open water. Marine advisory remains in effect. Tides low at 9 p.m., high at 1:45 a.m. Sunrise tomorrow morning, 5:46. The weather on Wednesday, June 29. Cloudy and windy with light to moderate morning showers and isolated thunder. Fewer showers by afternoon. On Thursday, June 30, partly cloudy to cloudy and windy with light to moderate morning showers and a low chance of isolated thunder. Medium chance of nighttime showers. And on Friday, July 1, mostly cloudy with widespread daytime showers and a medium chance of thunder. Fewer showers overnight. That's what's going on with the weather. A very good evening to you, sporting fans. Well, the climax of the 2022 election campaign season placed another damper on the St. Andrews Football League, which resumed on Monday following a week-long break. However, the keen competition was ever present as matches resumed on Monday with excitement and down-to-the-wire results from the two matches played in the A Division. As we can tell you, the Halifax FC Idlers Sports Club matchup took a turn in the second half as Idlers rebounded from a 2-goal deficit Shandy Joseph was instrumental, scoring in the 57th minute before orchestrating two scintillating corners, which led to brilliant headers as the match ended 3-2 in favour of Idlers Sports Club. The second match saw Santos FC go up 3 goals against Tivoli Lions FC in the first half, as Shavan Julian, Neil Rennie and Kareem Julian converted in the 7th, 9th and 35th minute. However, Tivoli Lions countered as Rondell Allard from the back of the net. Chad Thomas scored a beauty and Kristen McIntosh converted from the penalty spot to draw the match 3-3. Now, West Indies needed just over an hour to complete a resounding victory and a 2-0 series sweep of Bangladesh and recorded a third win in 5 test matches this year. A wet outfield caused by overnight and early morning rain forced the abandonment of the first 2 sessions, but once play started at 3 p.m. on Monday, West Indies got down to business and quickly bowled out the visitors for 186 in their second innings. Openers Craig Brathwaite and John Campbell knocked off the 13 runs required for victory to register the second emphatic win of the series.
The thing about it is that winning is what I am about, and the more we can win, the happier things are for me. I think when you look back at the 2 series, we've worked hard in the 2 series and we've come out victorious. This one maybe wasn't as hard as the first one, but the important thing is at the end of the day, the W is behind the 2 test matches, and it's been a long time. It's been since 21. This time against the same Bangladesh in Bangladesh is when we won 2 test matches. So you have to take all those things and you have to sit back and enjoy them.
Head coach Phil Simmons praised the dominant bowling as one of the major factors that stood out most.
I think the bowling of our fast bowlers in the both tests, because I don't think the first wicket was conducive to fast bowling, but we still sauntered on and at the end of the day we got them out for low scores. But and in this test match, to bowl them out on the first day on what was a slow wicket compared to, by comparison, our wickets we get here, for 260 on the first day and then be 60 not out without loss, then we're in the driver's seat. So I think the fast bowlers have to get a lot of credit throughout the series.
We're on a nice little unbeaten streak now. Does that give us confidence heading into Australia?
Well, it should give us confidence, and we've got time to prepare to go to Australia. Australia is always a difficult series, no matter what team you're going down there with. So we have to make sure we try and prepare well and continue our winning.
All right, so the 2 teams now travel to Dominica for the start of the 3-match T20 International Series. Meanwhile, the West Indies men's squad has been named for the upcoming 3-match T20 International Series and the 3-match CG United One-Day International Series against Bangladesh. Rovman Powell has been announced as the new vice-captain for the T20 Internationals, while left-arm fast bowler Obed McCoy returns after recovering from injuries. There are also recalls for experienced wicket-keeper batsman Devon Thomas and all-rounder Kimo Paul. In the CG United One-Day International Series squad, there is a call-up for left-arm spinner Gudakesh Moti. The T20 International Series opens with back-to-back matches on Saturday, July 2 and Sunday, July 3 at the Windsor Park in Dominica. That is the sports news for the moment. In the region, the Health Ministry in St. Lucia has beefed up its surveillance for monkeypox after a crew member from a flight to the island tested positive for the virus. Details in this HTS News Force report.
A crew member on a flight into St. Lucia has tested positive for monkeypox. Local authorities were notified by the CDC in the U.S. Although the individuals in question did not step off the plane, the Health Ministry is currently trying to determine whether other crew members may have also been infected. Chief Medical Officer Dr. Sharon Belmont George says quarantine for positive monkeypox cases can last 3 weeks.
The Epidemiology Department within the Ministry of Health, Wellness and Elderly Affairs received an alert by the U.S. Centers of Disease Control and Prevention of a crew member on a flight which came into St. Lucia, and he has since tested positive for the monkeypox virus. The crew member did not disembark from the flight. As obtained with infectious diseases, the required contact tracing process is currently being undertaken by the contact tracing team within the Ministry of Health. All identified contacts of the case shall be contacted by the Ministry of Health and placed in quarantine and monitored over a 21-day period.
Guyana is still fortunate not to have recorded any case of the monkeypox virus, even as it ravages some parts of the world. However, health authorities say they are actively looking for related symptoms. Should any cases be identified, patients will be placed on a symptomatic treatment regimen. More from HGP TV.
Chief Medical Officer Dr. Narain Singh was asked how will health practitioners treat with patients who have been confirmed to have monkeypox.
If somebody recognizes the cases, to do the bulk of the treatment is to do the contact tracing, right, to pick up those who are being exposed, and isolation, because there's no basically symptomatic treatment. There is a drug on trial presently, but it's presently being used in an antiviral drug that is being used in England. It's not being recommended for users yet.
Dr. Singh was speaking on the sidelines of a recent event. The United States Centers for Disease Control and Prevention has indicated that because the monkeypox virus is closely related to the virus that causes smallpox, the smallpox vaccine can protect people from getting monkeypox. Post data from Africa suggests that the smallpox vaccine is at least 85% effective in preventing monkeypox. Further, the World Health Organization has recommended a smallpox vaccine to control the spread of monkeypox. The disease, which according to the World Health Organization is endemic to West and Central African countries, has surfaced in some European countries.
Further afield, at least 46 people have been found dead inside an abandoned trailer truck in the city of San Antonio, Texas. It appears to be one of the worst cases of migrant deaths in recent years along the U.S.-Mexico border. San Antonio Fire Chief Charles Hood said 16 other people found in the trailer on Monday were transported to the hospital for heat stroke and exhaustion. They included 4 minors. Al Jazeera has more.
The grim discovery was made in a remote area on the outskirts of San Antonio in Texas. A man working nearby heard a cry for help and saw a trailer with the doors partially open. Inside, there were dozens of bodies piled on top of one another. Temperatures in the area had reached 39 degrees centigrade on Monday. Those who survived, mostly young adults and children, were too weak to get out of the trailer.
Patients that we saw were hot to the touch. They were suffering from heat stroke, heat exhaustion, no signs of water in the vehicle. It was a refrigerated tractor trailer, but there was no visible working AC unit on that rig.
The victims are believed to be migrants who crossed the U.S.-Mexico border looking for a better life. This appears to be one of the worst cases of migrant deaths in the U.S. in recent years.
So the plight of migrants seeking refuge is always a humanitarian crisis, but tonight we are dealing with a horrific human tragedy. So I would urge you all to think compassionately and pray for the deceased.
Stay with us. We'll remind you of the headlines after this. A reminder of the headlines: Grenada and its dependencies, Carriacou and Petite Martinique, remain under tropical storm warning. Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell committed to delivering as promised within the first 90 days in office. Former Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell confident the new National Party will rise from the ashes of defeat. Successful CPEA students to return devices as they prepare to exit primary school. And around the globe, regionally, crew member on flight to St. Lucia tests positive for monkeypox. Internationally, at least 46 people have been found dead inside an abandoned trailer truck in the city of San Antonio, Texas. Plus, in the sports news, St. Andrews Football League resumes following a break due to the heightened election campaign and general elections. If you missed any part of this newscast, the repeat of it will be broadcast at 10 o'clock tonight. Continue to follow us online at gbn.gd, on GBN Television Facebook page and YouTube channel for these and other stories. Please be careful out there. We will continue to bring you the very latest information when we get it. Further information, of course, on what's going on as Grenada and its dependencies remain on tropical storm warning will be brought to you, our GBN audience. Okay? Please be safe. I'm Kenroy, Baptiste. Good night.
Disha. So we switch gears now to find out what's happening across the islands, especially where potential tropical cyclone 2 is concerned as it continues to affect Trinidad and Tobago and the islands of the southern windwards. Now, all day we experienced unstable conditions, and this came about as the system had a more direct impact on our general area. So it continues to bring moderate to heavy showers, periods of rain, and even isolated thunderstorms into the overnight period. Now, I know you would have seen Anselm within an area that had barely any rainfall, but that's okay because we are expecting this to be quite sporadic as the day progresses into the overnight period, that is. And that's why a tropical storm warning remains in effect for Trinidad, Tobago, Grenada, and its dependencies right now. But when we look at this system in detail and really put a microscope under it, we're seeing that this area of interest is forecast to still become a tropical storm and even a hurricane after it passes Trinidad and Tobago, and we're seeing it doing so and developing further as early as 8 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. That's Wednesday, and then it's going to move in that west-northwesterly direction consistently before developing into a Category 1 hurricane by the weekend. So what's wrong with our islands? Well, thankfully, we do have some very hilly terrain, and the proximity that we are to the South American continent, that entire landmass is helping to break this system up where we are concerned and really make an impact on it. Now, that's not the only area of interest that we are monitoring. There is a tropical wave just behind what we now call potential tropical cyclone 2, and this particular area of interest will be moving in the form of a tropical wave across the island chain as early as Thursday, well into the weekend. Now, how will this one impact Trinidad and Tobago? It is going to move slightly north of us with lower impacts likely and potential developmental impacts as well likely for the islands of the Lesser Antilles, so just around Barbados and the islands north of that. We will stay quite south of this area, but again, because we're not looking at the size of these masses, we are looking at just a projected path of where they are. We can still get some kind of showery activity on Thursday and even on Friday, not to be confused with the moisture that's still going to be lingering from potential tropical cyclone 2 over the next 24-hour period. So with that said, hey, Trinidad and Tobago right now covered under cloud all the way into Grenada and its dependencies. This evening we continue to see that significantly overcast spell taking us through the overnight period as well as into tomorrow morning. Now, what is going to happen for us in particular is that temperatures will be quite cool this evening, lows dipping down well below the mid-20 marker, and we will continue to look out for the rain, the showers, and the isolated thunderstorm activity across Trinidad and Tobago. Now, into tomorrow's forecast, this is where conditions do start to change significantly. So even though you may wake up and it's dull, gloomy, cloudy looking skies, as the day progresses, we will see some significant improvement with conditions settling down into the late evening and overnight period with just lingering showery activity at play as this system moves well into the Caribbean Sea. But take note, into Wednesday, we continue to see cloudy conditions, almost overcast conditions, of course, with rain, showers, and possible thunderstorm activity as part of our forecast, with the gusty winds and the threat of street or flash flooding and even landslide activity still at play, and the temperatures do start to increase and build at 30 degrees in Trinidad, 29 degrees Celsius if you are in Tobago. So big improvement expected late on Wednesday, but we're still right now going through a period where we have to be alert, we have to be vigilant, we have to be mindful of what's happening. So don't let that interruption of quiet this evening put you off guard. In fact, if you're living along coastal areas, or you have some kind of marine interest, or you might want to reconsider heading offshore into the overnight period, and you might also want to monitor what's happening with those waves as we head into our marine forecast later on. So you want to stay tuned for more on that. Until then, hey, we head to a quick break and come back with more news. And remember, stay vigilant and stay where you are.
They are the few.